Good afternoon, lovely Cardinians. It's Heike from Ambrosia Nutrition, and I am not going to cook with you per se this afternoon, but I'm going to show you how to make a health tonic. Mine is always different, and so the previous one that I have made is very herb based. You can see it's quite green. There's all the herbs of my garden plus garlic in there, and today I will do a slightly different version. It's a bit like a mix of the fire cider and a thieves oil, just without the oil, but with those herbs. So I just quickly turn the camera around and show you the ingredients that will go in there. Here we go. So first ingredient is galangal. Galangal or ginger you can use interchangeably in here. They taste slightly different. However, the health properties are quite similar, and I'll get to them as I chop it up. So this is one that I pulled out of the garden with a huge chunk, and because it's a bit of work to peel it, I've already done some of this work, and you can see just one measly clove of garlic here. It doesn't mean we only put one garlic clove in, but because I've got homegrown garlic, and you can see one bulb is really small, I put about 5 garlic cloves in there, and they're already in the mixer, as you can see, or in the food processor, or in the Thermomix. The herbs that I'm going to put in there have got different properties, and I will just show them to you and then talk a bit more as I put them in. So we've got lemon balm, and if you squeeze a lemon balm leaf, you will be surprised how aromatic and citrusy that smells. Hi, Ash. This is feverfew. It's a beautiful herb that has properties of lowering fever as well as may amend migraines. I've got 3 different mints here: normal mint, Vietnamese mint, and a type of spearmint. Some people call it chocolate mint because it has this dark stem. Then we'll have rosemary. We have those, look at the vibrancy in those chilies, isn't it sensational? They're from the Pakenham Community Garden. Whoop whoop, love the Pakenham Community Garden. There is a lemon, there's a lime. Limes are super antiviral. There is turmeric in here. This is my kombucha brewing vessel. So and these are the beautiful cosmos from my garden that I pulled out to make room for winter veggies. I just could not throw them on the compost. So something that is different that you would have probably never seen in a health tonic. Normally you use apple cider vinegar. However, because I'm a cheapskate, I'm going to use my very sour kombucha, as this is a lot more cheap to make, and I'll talk a bit about kombucha as well. If anyone is interested in starting brewing their own, I have just put scobies and kombucha liquid in here, so you can start your own kombucha. The other thing that will go in is cloves. They are magnificent when it comes to health. A little bit of honey that I've already diluted in a bit of warm water, not hot, to not destroy the anti-parasitic properties, just warm to make it mix easier. Have I tried fermenting apple cider vinegar? Not yet, no. Ash, yes. I sometimes think, yeah, I should be doing kefir and I should be doing this, but then, there's only so many hours in the day, and I don't want to overwhelm myself. But yeah, I know it's, and you and Tash spoke about making your own apple cider vinegar. Maybe that would be awesome in another presentation. It's quite simple, and we also talked about it in one of the Cardinia community kitchen sessions. Yeah. Hang on, yeah, if you want to try kombucha, get a SCOBY from me. So here I'm just brewing the tea with sugar and there's just sugar water to go into the kombucha vessel to be fermented and make the kombucha. So it's not actually sweet, it's really, really sour because the bacteria and yeasts in there ferment all the sugar, and so it does not taste sweet at all, and it's not sweet, and people with diabetes, for example, can use it. So I'll swap the camera around and we'll start this, health tonic. Just pop that away. So I just chop all these things up roughly. I start with a galangal, put that in my food processor. Any food processor will work, guys. You just put it all in. The reason why I food process it is, one, it macerates. You know, the kombucha goes into all these herbs, pulls out all these health beneficial properties, and the smaller the pieces are, the faster that occurs. Now, different recipes say different things, but most say to let it sit there for 4 weeks and then strain the solids of the liquid to just use the liquid. But what I do is I keep it all in there. So as you can see, this is all still in there, working its magic. And once it's nearly done, I just shove it in the fridge, and then I use the remnant to throw into a casserole or into a stew or into a soup, and it's really yummy. It's really yummy. Oh, hi Mel, you've got galangal? Yes, once you've got it, you've got it. And I know people who also grow their own ginger in protected areas here around the Shire, and definitely turmeric. Turmeric grows really, really well. Okay, so I've added the galangal, adding the feverfew. And I'm stripping the leaves of the woody stems because I intend to use the solid parts later on. I don't want really woody items in there. This is why I take them off the stems. If I didn't do that, then you could leave the woody stems just on there. The mints, their stems are not very woody. They can just go in. This is a bit older, not quite so crash hot. I grow them in a pot, and I need to repot them. The soil they need new soil. You know, you learn very quickly to never grow mint in your garden. Does take over, doesn't it? Hi Meg, how are you? In the mint, got the mint. We've got the lemon balm. So mint. All the mints are soothing on the gut. They help particularly with spasms, and however, you have to be careful with mint if you have reflux, because they can exacerbate reflux. The lemon balm is a lovely calming herb, and who can't do with a bit more calm in their life? So in the lemon balm. Goes. Next one is rosemary. Now rosemary has got a list of active ingredients that is phenomenal. If you look them all up, you will just be flabbergasted by all the antioxidant benefits that it has. It also benefits the cardiovascular system by keeping those cardiomyocytes free from radical damage. And as with the previous herbs, I just strip the needles and the soft parts and leave these. These, if you were to use them for another project, you could just strip them off like so. And I use the parts with the flowers as well. And you could even put lavender in here, because lavender is calming as well. So I strip this off. And you could use this, because it looks pretty, as a skewer for veggie skewers, for example, on a barbecue. It looks pretty swish, like, you know, restaurant stuff if you wanted to. But I'm not that swish. I'm a very pragmatic cook, so things are not always very pretty, but they usually taste good. So the aroma of that rosemary is just amazing. So I'm filling my my Thermomix pretty high here. Remember, I've already got the galangal in. Here we go. I've got my 15 or so garlic cloves in there. Now I'm stripping my thyme. Now thyme is a super antimicrobial herb, and it's particularly indicated for the respiratory tract. And now I just remember what I forgot to grab out of the garden, but yeah, I'll do it without it. I wanted to grab the horseradish, and reason being is because horseradish is decreasing phlegm or mucus in the respiratory tract, so it's good for people with asthma or other upper respiratory tract disease like emphysema, or smokers can help smokers to easier cough off, slough off the mucus. So lots of time going in. Very good. So the next herb, or veggie I should say, that goes in are these hot little buggers. All the chilies are warming, they help circulation, so they actually help transport nutrients through the blood vessels into the tissues where they're needing to work. So if you can handle chilies, put some in. Don't be, they're not going to harm you. Also, people with reflux can have chili if they tolerate it, and it also helps to help protect mucous membranes. It's a really lovely way of looking after the surfaces of your gastrointestinal tract. And remember, most of your immune system sits in the gut. So we're also putting, with all these herbs, we're putting in loads and loads of fiber. Yeah, or actually, yes, if you would like, I can give you I can just spade off a bit of the horseradish, and you just plonk it into the ground. You need some loose soil so that the roots can grow down. And so in this one, I have used lots of horseradish, and I've used the root as well as the leaves. I just thought, oh well, no, don't waste anything. Put everything in, and it tastes really good. So now I put in, I don't have fresh turmeric, so I just put in 2 teaspoons of ground turmeric. There you go. And when you put in turmeric, always think pepper. Grabbing my pepper from the table. Black pepper activates turmeric and makes, or I shouldn't say activate, it makes turmeric more bioavailable. Okay, now I put in sort of a handful of cloves. Cloves again are super amazing as in antioxidants. They are also antiseptic. Most of the herbs are as well. And so antiseptic, and this is why they're often included in preserves to stop the preserves from going off. And another great thing, if you ever have a toothache, stick 2 or 3 cloves around that tooth carefully, because it has pointy ends, and it is actually anesthetic, or analgesic, I should say. Very good. So next thing going in is a lemon. I think that's a tree that I planted a little while ago, and it's just called, the lemon was just called Lots of Lemon. So I just take basically 2 top and tail it to take the the ends off, but I use all the other bits of the lemon because everything has health benefits. The rind, especially of limes, is antiviral. The pith, which is the white stuff, that has a substance called quercetin, which is anti-inflammatory and natural antihistamine. So all you allergy sufferers would benefit from it. And then I just sort of roughly chop it up, bang, in the food processor. It goes. Same with that one. Here we go. And let me just have a look. Have I got all my ingredients? Minus the horseradish. You always forget something, don't you? Well, I do. I am perfectly imperfect. Oh, hi, Clint. We are making a health tonic to be taken. Good question. To be taken preventatively. So I take a tablespoon twice a day to just sort of keep the lurgies away. And if I feel, you know, you get the sore, a bit of a sore throat, or you just feel a bit like you've got poor energy, you may have caught something, your immune system is fighting something. I take six tablespoons spread out over the day to support my immune system. Here we go. So here you can see, maybe you can't see because I'm holding my hands over the camera. There you go. There is everything in the Thermomix. So hard to see. So I'll be making a little bit of noise now. Bear with me. So now it's all blitzed up. I'll show you that way. Here you go. I think that's actually, so I'm looking for a size in bits that would be sort of cooking down in a gravy or in a stew when I want to use up the leftovers. So now all I do is I have sterilized a jar, so all I ever do is just wash it thoroughly and then rinse the glass and the lid with boiling water. It must be boiling. When I do hot preserves, what I also do is I put the jars on its head to have the hot liquid sterilize the lids again to make sure no bacteria hide under the little grooves in the lid. So you put your lovely health tonic in here, and, or I should say not health, it's not a health tonic just yet, your blitzed up ingredients. They look actually really pretty. I'll make there'll be some left over here for a second jar because I made a generous portion. In it goes. And then all that is left to do, you pour over your honey. So I made that's about 3 tablespoons of honey and some warm water added to dilute the honey. Oh, look, there's Henry. Hi, Henry. It's nice. My son is watching. Do you partake of this immune magic? Yes, Henry, you can say something to that. He's actually not here. He's on his way. I think quoting a job. There we go. So you fill it about 4/5 full, and then I've got my strained kombucha liquid, where you would normally use apple cider vinegar. Now, the difference between apple cider vinegar and kombucha is that kombucha actually has more health benefits. What they both have in common is acetic acid. Acetic acid is really good for blood glucose balancing. It is good to prevent against overgrowth of bad bacteria. And something else that I've now forgotten. The kombucha, however, that I'll put on on those herbs and spices is not just containing acetic acid. It also has lactic acid, butyric acid, glucuronic acid, gluconic acid, and they support other systems as well. So, for example, there's good evidence that it helps with liver detoxification, as well as supporting gut bacteria, and the yeasts that are present can actually crowd out candida yeast, which is a pathogenic yeast. The SCOBY stands for symbiotic cultures of bacteria and yeasts. Is the necessary ingredient to turn your sweet tea into kombucha with all these health benefits. And I think to use some organic sugar and black tea to make this beverage is a pretty cool and simple idea. You actually don't. I like it because it's a lazy thing. You just brew your tea with sugar, pour it over, cool it, pour it over, and then you just wait, and you've got kombucha done. So I'll pour this on here, and you make sure that all your everything is covered. That's beautiful. And then basically all you do is close the thing, give it a good shake. Make sure you close it properly so it's not going everywhere. And basically you can start enjoying it if you wanted to, if you were really in a hurry to get some of this goodness in you. So I've got a clean teaspoon here, so you would just take out a little bit of liquid, and then it's actually already pretty nice. So I taste hot, sour, sweet, and I taste the turmeric. Not so much of the herbs and garlic yet. That needs a bit of time to infuse this. So another use of this, so say you wanted to give it, you might want to give it to your kids, and they'd be looking at it like, you're not getting that into me. You can tuck it into. It actually makes a really great salad dressing. You can put a swirl in a pumpkin soup to lift the flavor of or alter the flavor of your pumpkin soup the second day if you wanted to. You could flavor a soup or a casserole or a stew with it. You can marinate your meat or your fish or your tofu or tempeh in it. That's really, really yummy. So, and it lasts, how long is a piece of string? It lasts a long time. I've had these tonics. I made them in winter, and then kind of there was that much left, and I shoved it in the fridge and forgot about it. And it was still good months and months later. However, there's no need to keep it that long. And you can keep it outside on the bench. So I've had this one out here. Oh my goodness, probably for 10 days. And it'll stay fine. It'll start fermenting. And once it's fermented, it basically has gone off and it can't go off anymore. As a very simple explanation. Well, that's me done. I hope you'll embark on it. Big message here is, don't worry if you don't have all the ingredients. Use what you have. If you've got other herbs, use them. If you've got marjoram, put that in, or oregano, or a different thyme, or different mints. You can put onion in. Other different chilies. What else have I seen? You can put other spices in. You could put nutmeg in. That's really, really antiseptic as well. But yes, there is lots and lots of variation and no right or wrong. Important thing is that you immerse your herbs in enough liquid, and also once you take out liquid and the solids are protruding from the liquid, I would then pour it through a sieve into a fresh jar and then start using the solids in another cooking project. That's it. Have a fabulous night. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon in the garden, showing you how to seed save and be frugal in the garden. Have a lovely one. Lots of love. Bye bye.